I have decided to build the FT Mini Speedster from the well-known YouTube channel FliteTest. I will show you my experience building this from scratch. Let's get started. So the first thing we need to do is download the plans. The plans are available for free from the FliteTest website, which is awesome. Links in the description of the video. I will use the tiled version because I can print it in any normal printer in separate paper sheets. And there is the full version that you can print out of a plotter, or you can order that, but I prefer to print it at home. So you can put the plan together with all the paper sheets, but there is no need to for most of the pieces that we have to cut out. Only the fuselage, the wing, and the horizontal stabilizer are spread in different paper sheets that we have to put together before cutting it out. I will use the same material recommended for the build of this airplane, the foam board, which is an excellent material, is very easy to work with, and is very cheap. It can be easily found in bookshops, art shops, and hobby shops. So I started cutting all the pieces from the paper to take them as master templates to cut the pieces on the foam board. I recommend watching the original video of the build of this airplane, since they are the original creators of it, and they show good techniques on how to do things. Take in consideration that the black lines represent a normal cut, red lines represent half cut, so we can bend the material, and blue lines are just notes or references. For the motor base, I'm going to use this plywood of 1mm in thickness, and that's more than enough for the motor that I'm going to use. The first thing I'm going to finish is the power pod, which is the thing where we can mount the motor and ESC together, and it's also swappable between airplanes of the same size, which is great. If you look closely to the power pod, you will see that the motor is pointing a little bit to the right, and that's intentional because that's to counteract the torque of the motor when the plane is in flight. That actually will make the plane go straight. Just make sure that the propeller will rotate clockwise when looking from the pilot's perspective. So now I'm going to start cutting all the parts, in this case the wing. If you take a look at the plans, we see a red line going across the wings, and that simply means that we have to cut just 50% through the foam, and that way it's easier to bend it. This bend will create a natural curvature to the wing that will generate lift. And this is actually very smart because it's really simple and it works. I also like the idea of these two pieces of foam as guides while I'm gluing the wing, because it's also a very simple but smart idea. I'm using hot glue as instructed in the original video, although I don't like it because it's heavy. I try to avoid it as much as possible, but since the material we're using is very lightweight, this is not gonna make any harm to the airplane. Now let's cut out the fuselage. For the wing slots, I recommend making them a little bit wider because it's very hard to put the wind through them with the original size shown in the plans. Right here, cutting the horizontal stabilizer. And now the rest of the wings. At the moment of gluing the wings together, it's very easy, and with the help of this little tool that we cut out of the foam, we know exactly the angle we have to glue them at. This angle of the wings is called dihedral. I put the horizontal stabilizer on the fuselage and I saw that there was a problem of alignment that was caused because I glued the fuselage before without noticing that there was an inconsistency, and therefore I had to use my knife to correct this alignment. Okay, I hope it doesn't confuse you. But yeah, anyways, it was solved very easily, and then I glued them together. Now I'm going to finish the power pod by putting this motor in place. Now be careful with the size of the screws that you're going to use, because if you use long screws, you are risking your motor and you can even break one of the windings inside of the motor and it will damage it. So just be careful with it. If you have long screws, just cut them before using them. I'm using M2 screws, which are very slim and very easy to cut with a tool like this. But if you are using M3 screws, then you have to use maybe a rotary tool or something similar, or even a bigger tool to cut them. We have to fix this little detail on the elevator, because this little bridge that connects both elevators, it's very weak and flexible. So I'm going to glue this little piece of balsa wood to reinforce it. Now I'm cutting out these pieces that are supposed to be cut out of poster board to be placed on the top of the airplane. Next, I'm going to place all the servo horns and servo linkages and everything that has to do with it. Also, I'm going to use these flexible pushrods because to me they seem lighter than the wire used in FliteTest. I tried using hot glue to glue the servos in place, but I didn't have luck, maybe because my glue is not high quality, so I recommend using epoxy or something more serious. Now it's time for the electronics. I'm going to use this 4 channels FlySky receiver, which is very nice and very lightweight. I use tape to extend the antenna of it, and then to secure the power pod, I use simple barbecue skewers. And then I'm going to put this landing gear made out of balsa wood and these pre-made wheels. In the description of this video you will find an entire list of all the components I used for this build and alternative components as well. So now let's see how much it weighs. In the plans it says that it should weigh 115 grams. So we are over just 20 grams, which is fine. Remember, this is the weight without the battery. Now we have to choose a battery and balance the center of gravity. There are many options for this airplane. I prefer to use a 3-cell battery because it's more powerful, but it's also heavy. For now I'm going to use a 2-cell 500 mAh battery, which is okay. The airplane should balance when you hold it on the marks indicated on the plans. It's better to fly it with nose heavy than tail heavy. Definitely don't fly when the airplane is tail heavy. Our airplane is now finished. It's time to go fly. I am very impressed on how stable this airplane is. I will recommend it 100% to someone who is starting in this hobby, because this is a very cheap and easy airplane to build, and it's also very easy to fly. And as always, I had a problem with the landing gear, whether it is because it becomes loose or because the wood breaks. So I'll consider using wire in a future build. I had a little problem with the wing breaking in the middle. It was easy to fix with a little bit of balsa wood. Then I went a step farther and put micro LED lights. I'm also using an electronic circuit I made in another video that flash an LED just like a strobe light or beacon light. If you want to know how I did that circuit, click on the link you see on the screen or in the description of the video. I designed this circuit especially to be used in airplanes, but it can also be used in any application where a flashing or blinking light is required. Now I'm going to leave you with some footage of the airplane flying at nighttime. Next, I put an FPV camera. That way I can fly through my goggles and it will feel like I'm sitting in the airplane. And this is how it looks like. As I already said, I recommend this airplane 100% to anyone who wants to build something small, but very fun and cheap. With this, we conclude this project. I hope you really like it, and if you did, please consider subscribing and maybe even hitting the bell button to get notified of future videos. Thanks to the FliteTest community for sharing all of this information. If you speak Spanish, check out the other channel, and I'll see you in the next project.